Maybe not as many as you, though.
Yeah. It's just so exciting and see how it feels different and I mean it's a safety net,
Yeah.
um our homes there's a lot of energetic value there and I
Mhm,
truly believe that they're like these breathing living extensions of ourselves
mhm, mhm.
and so when we nourish that it's like nourishing our energy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you talked about that energetic value, right? What does it mean to consider that energetic value that we bring into our homes? So what are some of the things we would consider when we think of energetic value of what we're putting in our homes and what we're creating?
Yeah. Well, I think this goes really hand in hand with sustainability because the more intentional we are about the kind of product that we're purchasing, so whether that's like the carbon footprint, um, the working conditions of the factories that it was produced
Mm,
in,
right.
the if it's like a natural product found in a bio-based product that is naturally found in nature, or if it is filled with toxins, like those things have energetic value.
Hello, my extraordinary women friends. I am super excited about this episode as it features my very wise and beautiful niece, Bailey Konieczka. I've been so inspired by the way Bailey has built her interior design company, Bailey Catherine Interiors, with clients across the US and a focus on sustainable, intentional design. As the founder and lead designer of Bailey Catherine Interiors, Bailey combines creativity, organization, and a deep respect for both her clients' homes and the planet. Her holistic approach crafts spaces that are not only stunning, but also meaningful and eco-conscious. She's also the Colorado chapter lead for the Good Future Design Alliance, where she works alongside designers, builders, and architects to champion sustainability and reduce waste in the industry. Bailey's passion is clear. She aims to slow the cycle of mass consumerism and champion local artisans and inspire mindful decision making that uplifts individuals, communities, and the environment. In this episode, she'll talk about creating homes that truly feel like sanctuaries, the importance of sustainability in interior design, and how to make conscious choices that have a positive impact on our lives and the planet. You are going to love Bailey. Let's meet Bailey Konieczka. Well, welcome to Extraordinary Women Radio, Bailey. I am so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
Good to
I've
be
been.
here.
Yeah, so it's awesome to have you join us, and I've been admiring your business for so long. Watching the seeds of it start up and what you've built has been so impressive, and I just love the brand you have built. I love what you stand for, and I just love how you pour all of you into really truly creating which something that's really unique. I think there's a lot of interior designers out there, but you've taken a different angle on this, and that to me feels really special. And I think that the way I want to kick this off today is just to really start. If you'd start by talking about what inspired you to create Bailey Catherine Interiors and just how that vision evolved. So tell us a bit of that story.
Yeah. Um, well, I absolutely fell in love with interior design. After my first internship, I was like, okay, yes, 1,000%. This is the industry I want to be a part of. Like, I definitely feel soul connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just creating spaces is like, I feel like aligns a lot of my gifts. It's creative, but it's also technical and requires a lot of attention to detail, which I'm a Virgo. It also is aligned for me too. Um, so absolutely fell in love with the industry. And then I think as entrepreneurs do, as I got into it, I was kind of like developing my niche and what kind of projects do I want to be working on. And the sustainability part just really like naturally fell into place for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I always been connected to nature, and that's been like a core value of mine. Um, and then I think as you start to see the impacts um, from the industry on a larger scale, it's like it really hit me that we need to be making some changes.
Yeah.
And um,
So
I,
what were some of the things you were seeing that pointed out that need for change?
um, there's a massive amount of waste. There's a huge waste issue
Mhm.
in design and home like the design and build industry as a whole.
Mhm.
And that really stood out to me. And then I think the material health impact really stood
Right.
out to me
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
And just realizing that, we've gotten so far into this like consumerism society and just lost sight of like how things are actually impacting our health.
Right. Right.
We've
Just
just been consuming.
using, consuming,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Yeah, 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 and I think that's I've really admired how you've found that focus around sustainability because I think our world needs, people like you looking at that. And it's like fast fashion, right? It's the same
Yeah.
sort of thing. We can fall into fast fashion where we're just ordering clothes after clothes after clothes that are coming from China, and then they get thrown into, to waste, and it's that same sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I really admire that. I wanted to start with a little bit about how do you view that relationship between our homes and our personal well-being?
Um, it's multifaceted because it's our well-being, I think, is made up of our actual physical health and the impact of toxins or mold exposure is a big issue within homes. Um, and the indoor air quality of like what we're breathing every day
Hmm.
to um, just the way that emotionally our homes are making us feel.
Right.
So that can be, I mean, just clutter,
Hmm.
having a home that your systems are set up to be serving your life and your daily needs. That's going to impact your routines,
And just how you
your
feel.
life, totally, how you feel, your dynamics with your family, like all of that is intertwined.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that's not talked about very often, but and I think people can um, jump to conclusions about interior design as being kind of this like frivolous luxury thing. And it's just to me it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah, I know. I've heard you talk about our homes are our sanctuary, and that started for you as a. I mean, you're my niece, so I've known you for a lot of years, for as long as you've been alive, and but I know this whole home sanctuary thing started for you even as a young girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y-
I've always, I mean, when I feel like a lot of young girls in particular share the same like common experience that we all, rearranged our bedrooms at a young age and like
Maybe not as many as you, though.
it's just so exciting and see how it feels different. And um I mean it's a safety net, um our homes are there's a lot of energetic value there, and I truly believe that they're like these breathing living extensions of ourselves.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so when we nourish that, it's like nourishing our energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you talked about that energetic value, right? What does it mean to consider that energetic value that we bring into our homes? So what are some of the things we would consider when we think of energetic value of what we're putting in our homes and what we're creating?
Yeah. Um well, I think this goes really hand in hand with sustainability because the more intentional we are about the kind of product that we're purchasing, so whether that's like the carbon footprint, um, the working conditions of the factories that it was produced
Mm,
in,
right.
the if it's like a natural product found in a bio-based product that is naturally found in nature, or if it is filled with toxins, like those things have energetic value.
Hmm.
Um, and then as we bring that into our house, it's like, what's the ripple effect of that?
Right.
Um,
How do you
I mean,
guide your clients with that? I mean, somebody's come to you and they're, wanting to look at their home. How do you guide your clients with that?
I think it's just the types of sourcing that I am intentional about specifying for my clients.
Hmm.
I am constantly trying to do more research and vet new brands and find things that like fill out those that rubric. So it's like, is there is it artisanal? Is it supporting someone local? Is there like what's the embodied carbon, or is there VOCs associated with
Yeah. Yeah. Like the
that
carpet, often
product?
carpeting has VOCs associated with it, right? That was
Mhm.
something I never really knew before. I think you and I had a conversation around that. I never had really thought about that.
Yeah.
As I know, you are the chapter lead of the Good Future Design Alliance, and you work alongside designers and builders and architects who
Mhm.
really are in alignment with the sustainability and reducing waste in the industry. How did you step into that role, and how is that like really positioning you to be, to have access to to different types of vendors who actually share those values?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really fun. I've um been doing that for just over a year now, and it's been a lot of community building. It's in Denver and Boulder is our chapter. Um, and I've been putting on events. So a lot of educational components, speaking panels, um, and also just networking and getting
Yeah.
to know one another. Cause we need that as the design build industry. We need, connection across architects, builders, product manufacturers, and interior designers. Like, we all have to be working together to improve our systems,
Hmm.
so that there actually is systematic change
Yeah, I
within the
love it.
industry.
Yeah. Is that a national organization then? Is it
It is. Yeah,
okay.
they have a really big base in California, and it's growing and expanding, which has been really fun to be a part of and witness. But
That's
it's
cool.
yeah.
That's really, really cool. Okay, so I mean, we've talked a little bit about your philosophy around the home as sanctuary, and I just love that. How do you help your clients discover and reflect their own energy and personality within their space, and then, while still keeping sustainability in mind? So how do you help them discover, what their space is meant to be for them, and
Yeah,
then and then weave sustainability into the mix of it?
I think it's a mix of, me just really taking the time to get to know them
Hmm.
and intuition. Like,
Hmm.
I really feel that I lean into my intuition as I start working on my clients' projects and really just determine, like, and of course it's different. Every project is different, but and depends on what kind of space we're doing. But you can pick up hints from other spaces, within the client's house and see what they're drawn to or what's causing them stress. Um, like, I had a client in Boulder who was just she had just moved her whole family from Canada. It was like so much stress involved in all of her kids' activities. Like, she was just consumed by stress.
Right. Trying to
And
get
so
resettled in a new space and
totally
yeah.
resettle, not knowing anyone out here, it's just, like, scary. And so to be her partner in that as she got settled into her new house, and just I was, like, looking for simplicity and clean lines and, like, things that felt homey.
Mhm.
Um, I pulled she really loved their old home in Canada, and she
Mhm.
showed me lots of pictures of that, and there were certain elements of that that I pulled into the new design so that it would feel more familiar for her.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, and just really getting to know your client's functionality needs.
Right.
And so, like, the um the flow of her closet was set up so, like, how her and her husband are gonna go through their morning routine.
Oh, good.
And it's
Good.
just
Like,
a
you
lot of,
actually got to that level of detail.
yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of just asking questions and getting super curious, and then I think, yeah, allowing my intuition to step in as well. I really do design from, like, a heart space,
Mhm.
and I hope that my clients can feel that, because it's like, I just want what's gonna, like, serve their lives the very best.
Mhm. I love it.
Um
So you have had clients that you've served over the course of, like, redoing an entire home.
Mhm.
And that's been fun to hear about some of those journeys as well. And what I loved is, like, you've gone and you've done some pretty big major things with them, and then they call you back for the next phase of it. So just talk a little bit about that journey.
Yeah.
When you're working with a client for a longer term period like that.
Oh, it's so special too, because you get to witness their family through these different stages of life. Like,
Hmm.
being a part of someone's home projects is very personal. You
Hmm.
you get to know the intricacies of their families, and, like, that particular long-term client you're, um, talking about, her daughter just got married, and, like, one of her other daughters went off to college, and then we did, like, a bedroom rearrange and with her kids, and it's just, like, it's special to be a part of it over the
For like
years.
over the years and seeing
Mhm.
things transform. I love
Yeah.
it. I totally love that so much. Okay. So what advice would you give to someone looking to create a home that really aligns with sustainable and healthy living values?
I think it's a lens that you kinda have to take on
Mhm.
as you're looking at every item that you're bringing into your house or materials for a remodel. Like, you really have to turn on this sustainability lens, and, like, I have a rubric that I
Oh,
often refer
interesting.
back to,
Mhm.
that helps me kinda go through and vet companies. But it's this mindset shift that we really all need to be taking, um, in the way that we consume.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what should people look for when it comes to materials or air quality or chemical exposure? I mean, what are some of the things that we might not even think of?
Right. Um, I think the big ones are looking for, so, low waste, low carbon, low toxin. That's
Okay.
like an easy, um, bundles everything up. I lean towards anything that's bio-based. So
Mhm.
if it could come naturally from the earth,
Mhm.
that's usually a great material because it can go back to the earth.
Okay.
Um,
That's a really good thought, is if it can go back to the earth and
mhm,
decompose and, like, become compost or something
right, like,
versus plastic.
looking at the life cycle of the
Mhm.
product that you're bringing
Mhm.
into your house. Um, looking at, so if there are chemicals involved, like a finish on, there a lot of performance fabrics
Mhm.
um have a finish that's PFAS, which is forever chemicals.
Hmm.
So just digging into that a little bit more, like, is that really what I want in my house? Is this serving my family in the
Yeah.
best way?
Yeah.
Um,
What kind of
it,
flooring do you like? I mean, what kind of flooring speaks to you?
I mean, natural wood is the way to
Hardwood. And
go.
then what kind of covering on top, or what type of
I
treatment on the wood?
oh, I really love Rubio Monocoat, which is like a vegetable based finish.
Okay.
Um, so no VOCs.
Hmm.
It's completely natural. Um, and then yeah, like other materials to look for would be like I do 100% wool
Mm,
carpeting,
nice.
um, which is naturally resistant, like
Hmm. It will last forever, right?
totally. And I look for like I love working with 100% cotton or linen for textiles. Just think, and you can look at natural dyes, which are really cool.
Interesting. Yeah,
Things that are actually, it's like vegetable or root based dyeing techniques that don't involve chemicals.
cool.
So there's, I mean, it can be really overwhelming too.
Yeah.
Um,
And you
but
probably can't hit it 100%, but you can make choices here and there.
yeah, it totally. And I just really think it comes back to like having that lens that you make every decision through. It's like, is this is this checking off any of these sustainability
Yeah.
boxes
And
or
when we think about our health of our beings, our bodies, and
Mhm.
when we can limit the number of chemicals around it, I mean, you think about all the autoimmune diseases that are out there, and if we can
Mhm.
limit chemicals that our bodies are being exposed to, really keeping our homes clean,
Yeah.
from that perspective. And I'm not saying clean like our house is like a housekeeper came through it, but clean that like we're using clean
Yeah.
products. It's going to help our health.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it so much. So, what are some small, accessible steps that someone could take to really creating a healthier and more intentional living space for themselves in their home right now that,
Yeah.
without taking, like without like tearing out all the carpeting and walls and all that sort of thing? Are there some small things that they can do?
Yeah. I always think just supporting local,
That's
small,
a
like
good one.
especially with the holidays coming up, there are so many talented artisans out there
Hmm.
that are making like beauty products, you could be purchasing like from people who are making local soaps or there's
The art we
amazing
hang
art
on our walls, right? I
making.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
pottery. It's like
Hmm.
there's so much out there and just seeing, how much their um shipping trucks are out through the holidays, it's like for lower carbon footprint, if you can be going to your local holiday markets and purchasing small, I think that's a
Ooh, I
great
love
place
that.
to start.
Totally love it. I totally love it. So, what role do you think sustainability and mindful consumerism play in shaping the future of interior design?
Hmm. I believe I mean, this is the direction of the future of the industry.
Yeah.
It's it's definitely not a trend. It like things need to change and the more and more that professionals and homeowners are demanding change from the bigger companies, like they're going to have to jump on board or
Hmm.
they'll get left behind.
Yeah.
So I think there's just going to it's going to become more and more mainstream
Yeah.
to purchase mindfully. And I think as far as interior design goes, we're going to be leaning more and more towards natural products and um, there's going to be more call outs on things that are filled with toxins or
Yeah.
um aren't like can't go back to the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. People are becoming more and more aware every day, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. And so you started your business how many years ago now?
Um gosh, I think like 6.5 now.
Yeah. So it's been really fun seeing you grow your business, and you've built an incredible reputation and brand. What what is like one lesson that you've really learned as an entrepreneur that's really served you?
Hmm. I think needing to be well, I also started my business and like pretty soon after there COVID happened.
Yeah.
So
So
I feel like it was not a normal experience.
Mhm.
And I really had to be open and flexible. Like I've just really allowed as a business owner, allowed myself to kind of morph to where like society is headed, and I've had to just um I feel like I'm not explaining that properly, but allow for society and like what's happening in the world to have its place, and
Mhm.
also stay true to my values
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
build a brand from that. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't just do it from what I wanted to put out into the world, and I couldn't just do it based on like where the world is at.
Mhm.
I had to be really mindful and flexible and blend the two.
Cool. I love it so much. I love that a lot. So where can people learn more about you and connect with you and learn more about your business?
Yeah. So my website is baileycatherineinteriors.com, and Catherine is spelled with a K. And Instagram is a great place, Bailey Catherine Interiors. And yeah, give me a follow, shoot me a message. You can book a call with me on my website as well.
Excellent. Excellent. And then the final question I always close with are, what are three pearls of wisdom you'd like to leave with us today?
Hmm. Oh, three pearls of wisdom. Hmm. I guess when it comes to your home, like be intentional and give it love.
Mm,
I think not enough people do that, and it plays a big part in our lives. And I just want more and more people to look through that sustainability lens when they're purchasing for their homes or not for their homes. You know, we need to make some shifts there.
yep.
Um yeah. And then I guess just like be conscious of the energetic value of what we consume.
Yeah. So good. So
Yeah.
good.
I was thinking that such a good example of that is the table that you purchased from your neighbor for your kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
carpenter, and
Yep.
just like how cool that
Is
you got to support literally your neighbor right down the street in his business, and he built this beautiful table by hand, and like the energy of that within your kitchen versus you just like
yeah.
ordering something that, you know, isn't vetted.
Yeah, it was actually made by Megan Conter's dad, who lives in
Oh,
the Springs. So that's where it was built. It was her dad built that
oh,
and
okay.
customized it. Maybe what
Yeah,
you're thinking of is that because we our bathroom, when we did the bathroom, we had a local guy do the
yeah.
cabinets in the bathroom. But it is those sorts of things. It makes a big difference to make
Mhm.
choices of like who's going to make this table, and they're like making it with love for you.
Yeah,
Like Megan's dad literally, I wanted turquoise in it, and
Mhm.
we wanted it at a certain level to fit some chairs that we already had, and he made it with such love.
Yeah,
And he's the dad of a friend of mine, which is just super cool. And the same with our cabinets that we did in our bathroom, in our master bath. It was, you know being able to design, pick out the wood, and make that in a way that it's uniquely ours is really beautiful. So
totally.
I think anytime we can do that, it's a great thing. So,
And it builds community. Like, that's
oh, it
another
does.
thing
Yeah,
that we're missing
yeah,
in our society,
yeah,
especially post-COVID. It's like,
yeah,
we need to lean into that. It just feels
yeah,
so good, and
yeah.
it's such an innate part of who we are.
And we're putting dollars in people locally versus into a big corporation somewhere. I think that's
Totally.
another big part of that. So cool. Well, Bailey, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wonderful wisdom. And I hope this gets everybody thinking about what they're putting in their homes. Yeah, I guess one thing before we wrap up, because I think, I sit here in an office, and we all sit in an office all day long. Any words of wisdom from the perspective of creating an office space, which if I looked around my office right now, I will totally admit I have clutter in my office. In fact, I just got pictures taken, that Jen McNiven took, and we were in a photography studio, and it's a very clean white space where my pictures were taken. And Tim's like, "That is so not your office." But what words of wisdom would you give us as far as like making our offices feel special, um, for because we spend a lot of time there?
Totally. Um, well, I think aligning it with the kind of work that you're doing and what, like, energetically feels best for you and what motivates you, which is gonna be different for everybody.
Hmm.
Um, I feel for you, like, your office is super warm, there's a lot of colors going on, it's cozy and inviting, which makes sense because you're a connector and you, like, are bringing women together, and it's cozy and inviting.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I like
so
that.
just kind of being intentional about the kind of work that you're doing, and does my office reflect that? Um, you can look at, I mean, sometimes I'll go off of clients, like, actual brand colors, or
Hmm.
maybe find muted versions of them to
Hmm.
incorporate,
Hmm.
or symbolism in the artwork that
Hmm. Oh,
resonate.
cool. Yeah.
That's a really fun place to play.
Yeah. I keep thinking, of doing like some like wallpaper behind me. Um,
That'd be fun.
yeah, that's what I was thinking you probably would like that. I was like, Bailey probably has all kinds of wallpaper that I could
Oh,
turn into.
totally. We can go
Yeah.
through my samples.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, thank you, Bailey. This was so much fun. And thanks for sharing all your good wisdom and advice. And I hope everybody's thinking differently about how they can, just bring different kinds of energies into your home and really make it your sanctuary. So thanks so much, Bailey.
Thanks so much for having me.
You bet.